What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Match Me Abroad edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife. And co-host is the one only Teresa right there.
Ahoy, everyone! How's everyone doing? Or how we say in the Czech Republic, jak se všichni máte?
Jak se všichni?
Nah.
Oh, boy.
Nah. Všichni.
Všichni. Mate? Mm-hmm. Mate. Yes, how are you guys doing? We're doing all right over here. Apologies for the delay.
Yes.
If you guys have tried to fly in the last couple days or are going to fly for the holiday weekend, you may hear a thing or two about delays.
Yeah, I would probably drive if I was you guys, unless it's like across the country.
Yeah, so long story short, Teresa and I were both delayed separately.
Yes, I was visiting John in Austin, Texas. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. We were biking in 103 degrees.
Yeah, I was out there doing my thing. It's not like I moved out there and you were visiting me.
No.
I was taking care of business out in Austin, Texas.
John was taking care of business, and because he was gone for a long time, I, as the awesome wife that I am, flew to Austin to visit him for the weekend, and it was a great flight over there. No issues. On the way back, right? I boarded the plane. It was on time. I'm like, fabulous. I was going to go to Atlanta and then from Atlanta to Florida. And the flight was supposed to be like an hour and a half or so, hour 45. So I put on a movie and then I switched it to Harry Potter so I could sleep.
Okay.
Harry Potter is long, right? So I knew I'm not going to finish the movie.
Okay.
So I fell asleep. I woke up. Harry Potter's ending. And I'm still in the air. I was like, what the hell? So I look at the flight map. And we are above Alabama doing air pretzels.
Yes, 100-calorie pack light air pretzels.
Literally, the plane was spinning around, making a pretzel shape. I'm not joking, guys. We can post it. I have a photo of it.
Yes.
We can post it on the Patreon, this pretzel.
This is not why people join the Patreon.
Well, I mean...
For the skywriting.
It's the sky pretzel. It's almost like, is the pilot that hungry that he's doing air pretzels? But anyways, finally someone said something, and basically the weather was very, very bad around Atlanta. So we were like doing air pretzels, and finally they said, oh, we are ready to enter the Atlanta area. Guys, it was the worst plane ride I've ever been on. It was going up and down, shaking. It was shaking so bad that I wish I was holding someone's hand.
Yeah.
I don't think the man next to me would appreciate it. So I was just like powering through these clouds and everything. We landed and I was like, oh shit, my connection flight is boarding 10 minutes ago. So I'm like, I'm probably going to miss it. And I look at the phone again, delayed. So I was like, perfecto, delayed. I can eat something, right? But it was getting delayed and delayed and delayed. To the point that it was delayed to 2 a.m. So I was texting John, I'm like, I'm going to get on this different flight that was leaving at midnight. So I did. Flight didn't leave at midnight. Flight left at 4:15 a.m.
Yes.
So I basically got to Florida. I got home around 5:30 a.m. And here's why I'm still happy I did what I did. Because my original flight got canceled.
Right.
So this was the only flight that went through with some issues because we were overloaded with all the luggage from the other flights.
You finally board. And
yeah,
then
we finally board.
Not so fast.
So finally board, I put the office on, right? One episode in. Perfect. Oh, finished. We're still sitting here. Another episode. Oh, finished. I'm like, okay, this is an hour. We're sitting here for an hour. And they made an announcement saying, we are too heavy. So they opened the plane and started removing luggage. Guys, it was a journey. It was a journey. When I got to my hometown airport, it was literally businessmen going back to Atlanta for meetings because it was so late and early. Well, that was my journey. John had a similar journey.
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
I flew in last night. And I was supposed to, 3+ hour delay. Not too bad. I thought, because it was supposed to be on time. Then 10 minutes before we board, an hour and a half delay. Then 10 minutes before that boarding, an hour and a half delay. And I was like, oh, here we go. This is going to happen to me what happened to Teresa. But pretty lucky. I got home midnight.
Midnight-ish.
Yeah. So anyways, long story short, Delta was delayed. So Married to Reality was delayed.
Yes.
We
And it wasn't
apologize.
just, I love Delta. So it wasn't just Delta.
Everything.
As I was walking through the terminal, and multiple because I had time, every single little TV said delayed. There
Yeah.
was not one flight leaving on time.
Yeah, it's a combination of weather in your case, I think, then flight crew shortages because we were waiting for pilots to show up.
We were waiting. So at my gate, there were 5 pilots, and
Yeah.
some of them traveling, obviously. We didn't have flight attendants.
Yeah. So we apologize for the delay. We hope you understand. And maybe you are traveling. Maybe you're on a delay right now and you're listening to this. And if you are, hang in there. You'll get to where you need to be.
Guys,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Here's
At
a
that point.
suggestion. If you need to drive at the end of the trip, you got to stay sober. But if you don't need to drive, drink up.
I was traveling with a pregnant woman, and she was taking a United flight, I believe, from Austin to Florida.
She was on your flight?
No, she was she was supposed to be on an earlier flight, and she got to
The pregnant woman.
well.
Okay.
It's apropos because she didn't drink. She doesn't drink,
Yeah.
obviously. She got to the airport, was supposed to board. Her flight got canceled. And the only option for her, if she didn't want to wait until the next day, and her flight was like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. in the morning. If she didn't want to wait till the next day, she had to rent a car and drive to Houston, 3-hour drive to Houston, get on a plane.
Did
fly.
she did it?
She did it.
Did she make it?
She succeeded.
Wow.
But yeah, so if you think that's an option, don't drink.
Yeah.
And maybe that's your plan B, but it is what it is. Enjoy the airport as much as you can.
Yeah.
Imbibe a little bit.
I love airports, so I don't love them when it hits like 2 a.m. and it's getting late.
Yeah.
But airport during the day, fabulous.
Yeah. So there we go. We are here, a little bit delayed, but hopefully you guys understand, and we're in your ears now.
Guys, so Jen and I watched separately, obviously, and I watched later, and all I know that John watched, and he messaged me. He's like, Harold stole the show.
Harold stole the show.
And
Harold
I'm like,
stole
I
Kiss.
gotta watch.
Immediately. You have to watch immediately to see what Harold was up to.
And I did.
You sure did. Okay. We're talking a lot about air travel. It's not too unrelated because this show is all about singles getting on a plane and traveling to find love. We're in the same ballpark here. But before we really talk about the meat of the show, little business.
All right.
Got to hit him with a little business. And I want to start off with a pretty big announcement. Okay. We're now on Supercast.
Woo-hoo!
You have asked, you have received. A bunch of you guys have reached out and said, are you on Supercast? Will you join Supercast? We hear you. We agree with you. We're on Supercast with the little caveat. For the moment, it is audio only. Okay? A lot's been happening back here behind the scenes, traveling, delays, whatnot. I'm trying to figure out how to get a video tier going. Mm-hmm. But for the moment, it is audio only. It is Cousins Club.
Cousins Club.
Right now, it's the Love in Paradise.
Yes.
In about a week or so, it's going to be the other way.
Woohoo! Guys, a lot of you messaged us about it. Yes, the other way will be on the Patreon and Supercast.
Get used to saying it. Patreon and Supercast at the Cousins Club level on both. Family Affair level as well on Patreon. That's the video level.
And we'll troubleshoot on Supercast, so...
Troubleshoot?
Yeah, we can get the video going.
Oh, we'll figure it out. And so, yeah, if you want to join Supercast now at that Cousins Club level, and then in a month from now, we say, guys, we figured it out, or in 2 weeks from now, we figured it out, you guys can just upgrade then.
Yeah. And just to let our friends know, it's the same money as the Patreon.
That's the $6 tier.
Yes.
It's $6. And Supercast, I don't know, because I just set up Supercast, so I know for a fact, there's a deal if you go a year. I think it's $60 for the year, which is $12 off. Speaking of deals, I enabled a free trial on both of them. So right now, 7-day free trials on Patreon and Supercast if you want to jump in there and see what it's all about. I should also add on Supercast. I know it's new and It's audio only, but I got all the old audio episodes to load onto Supercast. So if you get on the Supercast now, you're not going to go, oh, well, there's only one episode. There's no episodes. No, you get the whole back catalog. You get everything that's on Patreon is now on Supercast.
And we can post the air pretzels.
I think we can post photos. I'm figuring it all out. But I wanted to get it going and be able to have a little bit of a, what do you call it, like a beta test, a soft launch, because I wanted to smooth out all the wrinkles before the other way starts.
Yeah, it's not a soft launch. We launched it, but
It's sort of soft because there's no video, and
it's like testing the waters.
we're testing the waters. And so come on over there if you want. We heard it's super easy to sign up.
Yeah.
Again, Patreon, nothing's changing over there. So now you got two options for that extra content: patreon.com/marriedtoreality and marriedtoreality.supercast.com.
Say it again.
marriedtoreality.supercast.com.
Thank you.
There's also links in the show
Yes,
notes.
I think you guys will probably click on the links.
Click on the
That's
link.
what I would do.
All right. So there you go. Patreon, Supercast, free trial for a week. The other way is coming to it in a week or so.
Woo-hoo.
All good things. Also, we're on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Follow us there. Message us there. Let us know what's going on. Share your travel stories. All good things on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Make sure you're following wherever you're listening right now if you just want the free feed content. So if we're a little bit delayed once in a while, if the FAA doesn't give us clearance to record this pod, well, you'll get it as soon as we drop
That's a
it.
good one.
It's so easy to do. You look down, you smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's hot. It is Harold's love story because it's hot. It's hot, and I'm rooting for them. We need another Czech person in the U.S. for sure.
So, yeah, smash like it's as hot as Harold's love life. And last but not least, if you haven't left a review, please do. We love the love. You know we love the love. If you leave a 5-star review and you write something, we'll read it on the Monday podcast, the before the 90-day podcast.
Yes.
All right. That's the business. Woo! We talked about our travels a little bit. Shall we talk about the travel of these singles, starting with our friend, Chad?
Hello, Chad.
Hello, Chad. I like my chorizo with eggs, and not as much as I like mowing my grass, but I like it all right.
I love that. You're so good.
Chorizo.
I feel like we should move to Tennessee so you really like feel the vibe.
So I feel at home.
You feel at home.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Pleasant View is doing fine without me. There's not enough grass in Pleasant View for the both of us, Chad.
Have you ever cut grass?
Do you ever listen when I speak?
I do.
I did a 10-minute segment last episode on how I used to mow my lawn with scissors because I was so passionate about cutting grass.
All right. I mean, I've done it too, but
All right, quit bragging.
Not with so much passion.
Yeah.
I was being bragged by my grandma with money.
Bribed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I bragged.
Okay, so Chad and
Maria.
Maria reminds me of a West Side Story. It does remind me of a West Side Story, actually. It reminds me of a rom-com starring Sofia Vergara and Larry the Cable Guy. When I watch this, I go, wait, did we just flip on TBS? Is this Sofia Vergara and Larry the Cable Guy? What are we watching?
Well, I feel bad slightly because, all right, Maria, I have to give her kudos for not giving up. She's trying. She's there. She says he's cute. She finds him sexy, apparently.
Muy caliente.
But look at your
I've been
Spanish.
in Texas for too long.
But I have to say that you can also, as much as she's trying, you can also tell that she's not into him.
Oh,
and for
really?
him, she's everything he ever wanted.
Well, he didn't really ask for much. He was just like, tall and hot, so you're perfect, Maria.
So Maria's like, do you know chorizo? Here's chorizo. And Chad is like, eggs. I like eggs.
I like my chorizo with my eggs. I don't normally have just chorizo on its own, but sometimes it gets mixed in with the Jimmy Dean sausage. I think that's chorizo. It's what it says on the packaging.
I'm shipping John to Tennessee tomorrow morning so he can be with his peeps.
So I can actually practice the accent because I'm sure it's way off.
I think it's great.
Well,
Well,
we've heard your Southern accent.
my Southern accent is amazing. I'm gonna speak like this for the entire podcast.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, guys. I hear Angela when you do that. Not because you sound like Angela at all.
Southern, thank
at
you.
all. But
Thank you.
because that's the voice you use for Angela.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Here's how I feel about Chad. I know Juan stinks. Juan's the worst.
Juan's the worst.
Juan stinks. But Chad could have benefited from a little bit of coaching before the date. And that's where I say, not a fan of deplaning and getting into a car on a blind date. Not a fan of that. But also in Chad's case, he would have benefited from a good night's sleep and a 30-minute conversation with Juan before getting put on this date.
For sure. Because they sit down and Chad is like, what's it go? And Maria's like, what? He's like, what's it go?
What?
And that's what Chad was saying.
What was he
saying,
actually saying?
He was saying, what is it called?
Oh.
Like the restaurant. He's like, what's it called? Poor Maria doesn't know what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she asked him, like, what did you ask Juan for? And he's describing his perfect woman, which is her, basically, what he said.
At least he was smart there, where whether or not this is what he asked for, he's like, tall, about my height, dark hair, perfect. Like, you just looked at her.
Yeah.
And was basically, whatever you are, that's what I asked for.
Yeah. And so far, no red flags for Chad. He's like loving this.
On Maria's end.
No, on Chad's end.
Maria was not waving any red flags.
No, for Chad.
Right. Could you figure out what she does for work? Because she said community manager.
I picture like an apartment complex we live in, and she is the community manager. We have them.
I thought that.
Speaking of, I need to go and yell at them.
Yeah, go bash some heads in. I thought that, but then I also thought, okay, maybe social media. So like that's community management. Social media experts.
I think if she was a social media expert, she would say she's a social media expert.
Okay.
I think that sounds way cooler than a community manager.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, she has to get up and go to the gym at 7, which I hear that and I go, that's pretty early. I know, Teresa, you go at 6.
Yeah.
Nothing as early as Chad.
He goes at 3.
He gets up at 2:30 a.m. to go to the gym. He doesn't want to go to the gym during prime lawn mowing hours. When the sun's rising over the backyard, that's the most precious time to mow the lawn.
If I was him, I would just be like, screw muscles. I'm going to be soft.
Why?
Because if I have to get up at 2 a.m., get out of here.
Yeah. The schedules don't work. If you're getting up at 2:30 a.m. to go to the gym, I imagine you're going to bed at 8 p.m. And Maria wants to party.
She wants to live a fun and exciting life. And so far, this does not align. And she doesn't even know about everything about a grass cutting.
She knows nothing about mowing the lawn. Here's where I say I wish Chad and Juan had
I was just going to say that.
A little meeting before this date.
A big meeting.
A big meeting. Don't bring up your 3 engagements.
Failed engagements. And being cheated on.
Don't bring that up on date 1. And I think it's important to eventually get there. I'm going to say you got a past, you got some history, we all do. It's important to come and be honest about it. But you need to build up some goodwill first.
Oh, yeah.
You need to plant some seeds in Maria's mind that you're a solid partner. You're not bad luck or a poor boyfriend or fiance. And then you can be like, well, now that you know me and you see it probably wasn't my fault. I had 3 failed engagements.
I honestly, if I met you and you told me that you had 3, if you had a failed engagement, I would question it.
1, a single?
Yeah, I would question it, but I would want to know.
I'd give you 1.
I would want to know more, right? I would want to know what happened. If you told me you had 3, I would be like, well, it was nice to meet you, and I would totally ghost you.
Yeah, oh, completely.
Yeah.
Now, if you found out that I had 3 failed engagements 6 months into our relationship, you still might be like, well, this isn't for me, but I bet you'd give me a second thought.
I would be mad at you that you kept it from me for 6 months. I feel like a good time would be maybe like a month or 2 in when things are getting good but not too serious just yet.
And that's
because before it gets serious, before I ask you if you want to be my boyfriend, I I want to know that you were engaged 3 times.
That's a good point. This is a first date. It's a blind date. It's nothing is serious about this relationship yet, but you're going to lead with the most serious thing about you.
There is no relationship. And yes, and it's the saddest thing about him.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a Debbie Downer on a first day when you're chewing some chorizo.
Well, he doesn't think it's his fault, the failed engagement. So in his mind, he's blaming it on the girls.
Well, I'm going to blame it on Juan for not training him properly.
Yeah, and who's to say they didn't have a couple FaceTime meetings or whatnot, but sit down with your client face-to-face, set them up for success, and then send them on their way. But to have someone touch down in a foreign country, go on a date, and just, see how it goes.
If anything, I'm going to give kudos to Chad also, because after he said it, he's telling the cameras, there was a great energy between us until I told her about my 3 failed engagements. I'm like, at least you're picking up on things, Chad.
Yeah.
Like, that's good.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see. I love watching Chad, so more Chad.
And I love watching Harold. Ahoy, Harold.
Cue the astronomical clock. That's Prague on our
You've
screens.
seen the clock.
I've
They were
seen the
fixing them for a while, but you get to see them.
Who would have thought I would have fallen in love in a sewer? So sweet.
He just an FYI, they're still on the first date, but he's in love already.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. So first date, middle of the first date, right? We've gone through the sewer. Harold's invited Misha back to the hotel room where they're gonna dine.
Yes, and it looked like I would love to know where the hotel is.
I know. I was trying to say, like, do we know where that is? That area?
No, it didn't look like too fancy. I mean, Prague has some fancy hotels.
Harold made it sound fancy. Let me just say this, because he tells Misha, he's like, so I called ahead and I asked them to set up dinner for the 2 of us. It's called making reservations, Harold. That's what I would call it. I would be like, well, I called this place and I had them set up dinner for us.
Well, I think he asked for something special, not just a resi.
I think he made a reservation.
I think he did too, but I think he said, hey, like, I want something romantic.
Okay, so we bashed Chad a little bit for bringing up the 3 failed engagements. I'm going to bash Misha a little bit for bringing up her boyfriend, who was a cook.
Yeah. If he was a chef, sure, but...
Oh, how dare you. Just now we're eating, we're excited. Oh, we're talking about food. I love food. My ex-boyfriend was a chef. It's like, well, now I can't enjoy food ever again.
Harold asked her about her past.
I thought she volunteered that information.
They're talking about their past, and then she volunteered, yeah.
I thought they were eating this food, and she said, oh, yeah, I love good food. My ex was a chef.
Okay, this is what
I'd
happened.
be like, well, I'm fasting starting now.
Because I watched it more recently than you.
Fair enough.
They're eating, and there's this fish. I forgot what kind of a fish, but Harold said, I've never eaten a fish like this.
Oh, right.
And Misha said, oh, I have. My ex was a cook.
Thank you. So you're taking my side. She volunteered that.
Yeah, but they're also like they talked about their past. Harold said he hasn't been with a woman in the past 6 years, and so
it's been 5 months since Misha's last date. Yeah. Okay. He does ask about that, but she opened the door to that conversation, which again, fine. If you want to know, if you need to know, fine. But I think don't get so detailed about the past on the first date.
True, but I think it was fine. She mentioned it once, and they moved on.
Okay. So then it's like, do you like my outfit today? It's not my normal outfit. I usually wear shirts and jeans.
She's like, I wear shirts and jeans.
What?
Star Trek shirt?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, we'll be matching.
And Harold was like, I hope I'm not too forward, but how soon would you want to get married?
Misha looked like she was about
Harold.
to choke on a carp bone. When I think she answered well. I think she danced around the sub, knowing that Harold's probably got some delicate feelings. I think she handled it well.
She did, but I also feel like she is not your ordinary girl.
She's not.
Yeah, so she said, I need to feel it, which is true.
Yeah.
I think for Harold, I don't think he's felt this way ever. So now he's fast forwarding to 10 years and he's seeing them having 3 kids and being married and doing Star Trek conventions all together.
Well,
I think she's pumping the brakes a little bit, as she should, because it is their first date still.
I think that's really what it is Harold, it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since he's had a date, let alone a good one, right? He doesn't want this date to end. I don't think he realizes, well, we can grab breakfast tomorrow. He thinks when this date ends, because maybe that's the way it's been in the past with him in dating. When this one ends, she's never going to answer my calls again. She'll never call me again. So he doesn't want it to end. And that's why he's like, okay, well, let's go eat. Okay, now come up to my room. Okay, do you want to see photos?
We don't go out for breakfast. Are you crazy?
In Czech?
Yeah. We go out for lunch or brunch or dinner. No one goes out for breakfast.
In Prague, Teresa, in Prague, they do.
And you remember how hard it was to find a good breakfast place?
Not exactly.
I was very touristy too. Everyone spoke English in that place. But like, I'm meaning like Czechs. Like Czech people, we don't go out for breakfast.
Oh, I thought we found a great breakfast place. It was
Prague?
like it was
Americanized.
Americanized.
Oh, we did, but it took us a while.
It did.
It was. When I say touristy, I don't mean that there was like photo ops. I just mean that it was in the center of Prague and there were a lot of English speakers.
Yeah.
Because we just don't do breakfast.
Okay.
You have breakfast at home. You have a rohlik, some ham, some cheese, some tomatoes. You know what my mom does?
Okay.
That's the Czech breakfast.
Okay. I'm glad we took a nice sidetrack because I randomly said, well, Harold, you can end the date
Go out for lunch.
and see each other tomorrow.
Yeah, why both? If someone asked me to go out for breakfast, I would judge them.
All right.
Lunch.
You might think, oh, they're not Czech.
Well,
They might be from New Mexico.
maybe.
Maybe I'm dating a foreigner.
I mean, do people...
Maybe I'm on a show called Match Me Abroad.
Do people in America really go out for breakfast?
Oh.
I mean...
Yeah, most important meal of the day, which is the biggest lie ever.
No, you're not understanding my thing. Would you invite someone on a date, on a breakfast date? No, you would not. That's weird.
If I was in a foreign country on a limited time only vacation, sure.
Lunch.
Sure. Maybe a brunch. Yeah. But if I knew I had limited time only, I wouldn't be like, well, let's wait till tomorrow night. I'd be like, well, that's the waste of an entire day.
We don't do brunch. You know why? Because we do big lunch. You know, we do like big hot meal lunch and you can have a beer and it's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Your lunch is our dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Then Harold's like, well, I don't want this thing to end. Come to my room. I'm going to show you some pictures. So they do. And the first thing he whips out, some of his special inventions.
Well, okay. So they got to the room, they sit down, and Harold is like trying to like hold her hand and sitting close to her, looking at her, and she's like, am I gonna see some pictures?
Where
and
are
he's
those
like,
photos you promised.
and he's like, photos? Oh, my invention book. I really think that he thought they're gonna just start making out.
I think he's just not the most experienced, right? He doesn't have the most experience in these situations. And he goes, I got her here. And now he's kind of blanking. What do I do next? Did I say photos? What are we going to do? And then he needed a little encouragement. And he brought out his invention book.
Also, he said, oh, my room is a mess. No one came in to clean it?
Yeah. What, is there no housekeeping
There
along
is
with no breakfast?
Of course there is housekeeping.
Okay. So the first invention he shows, well, this is a pool noodle with ribs on the side of it. When you wiggle it back and forth, it makes a gurgling sound. It sounds more like a sex toy to me, Harold. But you do
she's
you.
like into this.
She's like, how about some family photos?
Well, I think that's a good sign. If you want to see someone's family, I would never ask anyone to see their family if I didn't care.
I would be like, show me more of those inventions because we might be able to do something here.
I'm like, can I take a photo of it?
Yeah, exactly. So then he's like, well, here's my mother. Here's Los Alamos, me in a Star Trek shirt. And she's like, well, here's me in a Star Trek shirt.
Aww.
It is sweet. And that was probably the right moment for Harold to put the moves on her.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Which he did.
And then he asked her to hold her hand. He's like, can I hold her hand? Can I hold your hand? And he's like, that's nice. And he's like so in love.
Misha's like, where's that pool noodle?
Well, they kiss. Let's just get to the point. They kiss.
Couple times.
Yeah, and Harold wants to know what she thinks about this date, and she likes it. I love him being so straightforward. Honestly, not you. You were very straightforward too, but not like Harold. But American
I
man,
did not show you my inventions on the first date.
you did not. But American man, especially like in New York City, which is where my dating life was happening, they don't care. They ghost. They don't share anything. It's like, you have to go in a few days, and many times it doesn't happen. And this is not just my experience. I have girlfriends, and
You have to caveat what you're saying, though, because
what do you mean?
Run it back and repeat what you said.
So Harold was asking, rate the date in a nice way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that American men, I'm talking about New Yorkers, they wouldn't ask.
This
They
is
don't-
the caveat I'm saying
Yeah.
for you to make, because I'm an American man.
Yeah.
And you're saying, well, you're not like that.
I
so,
said, yeah, but I said New Yorkers.
well, some.
Yeah.
Don't generalize, because I'm going to get on a soapbox momentarily and come at some of these singles for their generalizations.
Listen, I said my experience and people I know, right?
Okay.
It's hard to date. I get it. But a lot of men are not straightforward. And it's like, if you're on a date and it's not going well, don't say, I'll see you next time. You know
Sure.
you don't see. Say, hey, like, let's just move on. We can maybe stay friends. I would prefer, and obviously I don't have to because I have you, but where I was dating, and I should have done the same thing. Like, I did it many times, and I said, oh yeah, sure, let's grab a drink tomorrow, and I would never talk to the person again, right? It goes both ways, to women too. But it's like our culture, our meaning American, look at me, is so just like, if it doesn't, like, you're not being honest, you're not being straightforward because you don't want to hurt others' feelings, you don't want to deal with their reaction, so you say whatever, and then you don't follow through. So I like when Harold was like, how do you like this date? Because if she said, oh, well, it was fine, it wasn't too good, well, and I'm sure she would because she's Czech, then he could move on.
Yeah, I don't think it comes from a bad place. People don't want to hurt someone's feelings. A lot of people don't want to be put in an uncomfortable position, so they don't want to have to hurt someone's feelings. But I don't think it's ever coming from a rude. It ends up being rude, but I don't think someone's going, I'm going to be rude. I'm going to say, yeah, we should grab another drink, and then never again. They're just saying, I gotta get out of here. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, but it's a thing. It's a thing that people are not being honest, and it's like, if anything, don't say you want to hang out again. Just leave the date.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. That's what it
luckily,
comes down
you
to.
found me, so you don't have to deal with it.
I did, but on the way to finding you, I had to find ways to separate from others.
Did you promise and then you didn't deliver?
Yeah. I promised I would go
Jonathan.
like ice skating with some girl's dad.
What?
I was like, yeah, that
That's
sounds
just
good.
weird.
But what's the alternative? I go on one date with the girl, fellow Jew, and so she's like, oh, my dad's coming
In New York?
My dad's coming into the city for Hanukkah. We should all go ice skating. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. What am I going to say? Like, no?
I would say
I didn't say that sounds great, actually. I was like, oh, yeah, I got to see my schedule.
I would say, well, I think it's too soon. Like, we just went on one date. I don't think meeting your dad is a smart idea at this point of the relationship.
Yeah.
And then you can ghost her.
Okay. I didn't ghost. I don't think I've ever ghosted. I've always just been
Really?
like, oh, sorry, I met someone else.
I've ghosted people.
See, look at you over here trying to preach the good word.
I'm not saying I'm the good one. I'm just saying in general, and I'm part of the problem.
Yes.
Not anymore.
We're all parts of the problem.
I didn't ghost you.
No. Here
And
we
I
are.
told you we'll grab a drink, and we did because I meant it.
I know you did.
So.
All right. Did you see Harold pick up Misha at the end of the date? Just like on
yeah,
the
I
curb?
loved it.
That was sweet.
love-
It could have gone sideways like when Jim picked up Pam
Which one?
when they were doing karate.
Oh.
Remember when Dwight and Michael were fighting
Yeah.
during lunch?
Yeah.
And then like Jim and Pam were kind of getting a little
Oh,
cutesy.
yeah,
He like went and picked her up and it showed her belly.
Yeah.
And then in the Office Ladies podcast, Pam was like, I'm so glad that moment's on film because my stomach looked nice and flat there, and I'll always
Yeah.
have that moment. Yeah.
I love being picked up by you.
All right.
It's a
and,
fun thing to do.
I wish I could say the same about you, but you'll continue
You
to do
love
it.
when I pick you up.
Yeah.
Just tell our friends.
It makes me laugh.
Okay.
All right. Let's take a quick break. You can pick me up once or twice.
Okay.
When you put me down, we'll be back to talk about a new single.
Who dis?
Someone who also wants to go to the Czech Republic.
And I'm here for it.
So far, not necessarily as exciting as Harold, but
Oh, we'll see.
we'll give her a chance.
I'll tell you why she's exciting.
When we come back?
I'll tell you now because I'm going to forget while
Okay.
picking you up. She is a hardcore feminist.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just be honest, that doesn't fly in the Czech Republic. We are more, and listen, I'm all for equality.
Save it for the other side of the break, Teresa.
But I'm going to forget.
Oh, boy.
I'm all for equality, but I
Really knows how to hook a listener over here.
do like certain gender roles. I do like certain traditions.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that.
All right. We'll be back after this.
Hey guys, today's episode is brought to you by Ave, the obvious choice in health and wellness. Ever since I learned that we start losing collagen as we get older, I've been looking for ways to get more of it into my diet for my hair, my skin, and my joints. I tried several brands and they all tasted not so good. You guys know, John is a picky eater.
Hey, Teresa, I'm right here, but guilty.
Well, I'm a picky supplement taker. I can't tell you how many half-full jars of protein and collagen we have in our cabinet. But when I tried Ave, it was a game changer! There's so many flavors. I've been going with a peanut butter cup super collagen protein, and it literally tastes like peanut butter. 10 grams of collagen, 9 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 40 calories. It's only been a few weeks, but I feel like I hop out of bed a little easier, and John's actually been complimenting me on my hair a little more.
I know some goats that would love to snack on that hair, Teresa.
Oh, don't get me started on that. But there is one more thing I have to tell you about. Always apple cider vinegar gummies. Not only can they help with weight loss, reduce cholesterol, and lower blood sugar levels, they taste like candy. And here's the best news of all. Our listeners can get 25% off today with code MERIT at myave.com. That's myobvi.com and use promo code MERIT, MERRIED, to get 25% off today. I'll also make John put a link in the show notes.
You got it.
Thank you, Avi, for sponsoring this podcast. And let Avi help you reach your goals this summer.
Put me down. Put me down. And we're back.
John gained some weight on his trip.
I sure did. Barbecue.
Luckily, so did I. So it was equaled out.
Teresa, I didn't tell Teresa I was going to come back like that. She was staring at me like I had 9 heads. It was a reference to you picking me up, Teresa.
I love picking you up.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. Let's really dig into it now because
Michelle, my belle.
What is that?
Beatles.
Is it?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Beatles songs.
Okay. Michelle, 34, Raleigh, North Carolina.
She has cats.
Full-time marketing manager, part-time party princess.
Ugh, I hate that.
I hate it because I'm so jaded now. I'm not impressed unless you slap on a mermaid tail. Like, I don't care. I don't care about your party princessing, eating cake, musical theater. No, put on a tail and get in there.
That's hard.
Get in there. Come on.
It's hard to be a landlocked mermaid.
She would not.
Raleigh is landlocked.
Oh, Raleigh is, but North Carolina is not.
No, but I mean, Raleigh.
Yeah. Come on. Have you seen the trials and tribulations of Mermaid Sparkles, Michelle? You got nothing on her.
I hate this, guys. I hate Disney princesses. I don't get the obsession. I don't like Disney in general. I like the fat bear. What's his name? The one with a crop top.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Is he Disney?
I think so.
Oh.
Because I love the bear. I love the donkey Eeyore.
Okay.
Big fan of the Eeyore. I have an Eeyore. So I do like Winnie the Pooh, but I got into it because I read the original book. And then my parents said it's also Disney. I also watched those ducks that swam in money.
Oh, yes.
Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do, do.
Yeah.
It's like the rich little dog
Yeah, the
with the
rich
3
ducks.
little grandsons.
Yeah. I know those ducks.
I watched that, but that's it. Like, I did not grow up watching Disney. And there was Disney. It was just me. I never loved it. I'm a big sucker for Czech fairy tales. I'm a big sucker for Russian fairy tales. Believe me or not, they're kind of creepy, and I always liked it.
Okay.
But not Disney besides Winnie the Pooh. So all these princesses, I don't get it. I don't get I get the obsession if you are a child.
Yeah.
But I don't get the obsession of many adults. And if you guys are, tell me what is it? Tell me why it's so sparkly.
Okay. Thank you for going on such a rant, because I really hadn't put my thoughts together on Michelle yet. But as you're doing it and I'm looking at my note that says staunch feminist, I said, what an interesting juxtaposition between her being a staunch feminist and her being a party princess.
Very true.
Right? You think she would not?
Yeah.
She would not play that game.
Well, speaking of her being feminist, and I teased it
Let's talk about it. I'm tickled.
before the break. All right. I think the most Czechs, and again, I'm not gonna generalize, and I
You
haven't
just said Czech like Andre says Chuck.
really.
You're like, I think most Czechs.
Most Czechs do prefer either equality or more traditional gender roles, and I do like some of that. Like I like taking care of the house, and I know John helps me sometimes, but
And I don't like it.
I like being in charge of that, and I like telling him what to do, meaning like, hey, can you do the floor? Can you go to the store? And he does it. And that's why it works. But I feel like some like extra ultra feminists are like, no, I'm not doing any of this. And I'm like, well, I mean, you still like, I enjoy taking care of the household. Like I enjoy taking care of you.
Yeah.
And again, I'm all for equality, like being equal. I love it, and we are equal, but I still do like this. And I think it literally comes down to me being Czech and the background I grew up in.
So I'm glad you qualified it with equality, because that's me through and through. I that's the only thing I subscribe to is equality. But what I was gonna say to you in reference to Czech, your mom, I would say your mom wears the pants in a way. Your mom is the breadwinner, right? Your mom runs the show a little bit.
Yeah, but they fight all the time.
They fight all the time.
My mom was asking my dad to vacuum more, and my dad bought a robot vacuum that he named Karel. So when my mom says to vacuum, he turns Karel on.
Yes. Yes. And when I vacuum, I turn you on.
Ooh, you should do.
Yeah. Except when I get a blister.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about it. That was just out of control. I just vacuumed yesterday for like 30 minutes and no blisters.
Yeah. So you like cooking, you like cleaning, you like taking on some of those gender stereotypes, which is great. I think that's perfectly acceptable.
But you know why it works? Because when I ask you to do something, you do it.
Because I'm all about equality. And in my mind, when you ask me, I go, well, it's only fair. You're doing, it doesn't matter that you like it. It's only fair that you've done this. I should also pull my own weight.
Yeah.
So totally, I think equality is the way to go.
But I think a lot of Czech men expect some level of care from their partner. I'm not even joking. And I feel like her going into this as like such a feminist.
Yeah.
And again, nothing against feminism. I'm a woman, obviously. But I think she'll learn very quickly that she'll need to dial back a little bit, not to change who she is, but maybe don't talk about it as much as she does.
Well, let's be clear, because she says staunch feminist, which leads me to believe maybe she's extreme in her views. But the idea of feminism is rooted in equality.
That's what I think too.
Right. So being a feminist is not necessarily saying anything other than men or women should have the same rights and as men. So,
but that's equality.
That's equality, which I think is when most women are saying I'm a feminist, they believe, oh, I should have the same rights and opportunities as men. When you say I'm a staunched feminist, which is what Michelle said that's what leads me to believe she might be a little extreme.
I think she might be it too. And she keeps talking about how she doesn't need a man. She lives on her own. She can take care of herself. I'm here for it, girlfriend. But that's me too. Like before I met John, I was self-sufficient, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have John now, but can I do everything on my own? I could. I don't want to because I have you. But if it came down to it, I could totally take care of everything on my own.
Yes.
And so that's what she's saying. And that's great. But I'll tell you what, Michelle, it's really nice to have someone to share it with. So maybe, and I can totally see her meeting someone and really drilling down, oh, I can take care of everything myself. I can do this, I can do that. And I think it can sound like, okay, dude, you don't need anyone. So why are you on a date?
Right.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. I just think we have to have a little more context to understand what she means when she says staunch feminist.
Yeah.
If she's just saying, well, I think women should make the same amount of money as men for the same job,
for sure.
and they should be able to have opportunities and education, 100%.
But that's equality.
100%.
So what's the difference between being equal or supporting equality and being a feminist?
I don't necessarily
Me
have the
neither.
answer to that, but I think we just need more context around Michelle's feminism.
Yes. And I'm here for it because she's going to go to Prague to meet our favorite matchmaker, Katarina.
There you go.
So, okay. But before she goes, she's going to meet a couple of friends.
She goes to Happy Endings, which is I love a good pun. Happy Endings is brewery and bar. She's meeting her friends there, and the table looks like a teacher's lounge in high school. Like it looked like a bunch of science and theater teachers on break.
And I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay. Teachers, yes. And I realized that she's my age, basically.
Okay.
I think I
close
always
enough.
see myself as like a
27-year-old?
wild child.
Younger?
21-year-old,
Oh,
please.
geez.
Minus the back pain. But I'm like looking at this. I'm like, yeah, I should be more mature. I should
fly to another country for love.
Well,
I should dress up like a princess.
no, I should not.
I think you're doing okay.
I don't need to fly anywhere. I flew to another country to find love.
Yes.
Wasn't the reason why I came, but
I don't
it
know.
happened.
I don't know what part of Michelle sitting at Happy Endings with a substitute theater teacher makes you think you need to get your life together.
Just because they looked so well put together. And today I ran out to grab a smoothie for lunch because I was busy and I was wearing workout pants and a winter turtleneck and it's 95 degrees outside. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, well, it was 105 degrees in Austin, Texas, and I wore the same shirt 3 times to dinner because I did not count the days properly.
Did you go to the nice restaurant we went to when
Not
I went
again.
to Texas? Okay.
Not again, no. It was
Guys,
shout
we
out
ate
Lonesome
snake.
Dove. We've talked about Lonesome Dove in the pod prior to you experiencing it when it was just me who had experienced it. So
Yeah, I needed to try the rattlesnake. And then I had the ravioli, which was very good.
we sat down and the waitress comes up and goes, I know you. I've served you before, haven't I?
You go to Austin too often. I should be going with you all the time.
Come next time. All right, back to Michelle. So it gets sad. We learned recently, 2021, Michelle's dad suddenly died from a heart attack.
Yes.
And they were super tight. So this hit her very hard. She went to a dark place. And when she was in that dark place, she put love on the back burner.
Yes. And it seems like she has a house. She owns a house. She lives on her own. So she doesn't need a man. But I think she like losing her dad made her realize that she doesn't need to deal with things alone.
Sure. So she's planning to go to Europe to find love. She was planning to go prior to COVID.
Yeah.
But we all know what happened. So she had to put that plan on hold. But now she's going to go to check out the dating scene. No pun intended. She's going to Czech.
I wonder why she picked Czech.
I'm pretty sure, I remember when I was researching these singles a month or two ago when this show first came out, I think she has Czech heritage.
Oh.
I think her ancestry.
I mean, Czech is fabulous, guys.
But here's where I'm gonna get a little upset.
Okay.
Because just like Chad, Michelle has been cheated on, and she overtly says, I'm tired of being cheated on by American men. It can't be like this everywhere. It's like, they're not cheating on you because they're American.
No, Czechs cheat too, believe me.
I looked up, and not that there's a direct correlation, but I looked up countries with like the highest divorce rates and things like that. America is not even in the top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the top country?
I forget. Like China's up there, Russia's up there, Ukraine's up there.
Really?
Moldova, I think, was up there.
I'm surprised.
I know. I was very surprised about several, but the U.S. doesn't crack the top 10. So don't look at America and go like, oh, so much infidelity and people can't stay together. And it's like, no. I hate this mindset. That's why
too.
But that's why you're failing. Take ownership. You're blaming it on the country that someone was born in.
Yeah.
Take some ownership.
No, it's 100% very individual. And it's like people can be influenced by others, but it's not the country. Like people can be influenced by friends. Like, oh, my friend is cheating on his wife and having the best time. Maybe I want to do that too. But it's very individual. And I don't know. I've most of my life, I've been surrounded by happy marriages.
Mm-hmm.
My family, your family. I mean, we have a few divorces, but they were very, polite divorces. There is no
Civil.
bad. Yeah, there is no bad blood. There is nothing too crazy. And it happened when the kids were older. And so I don't really know anything. You know, I grew up with seeing love. But yes, it has nothing to do with the country.
No. So Michelle, she's looking elsewhere for her happy ending. Teresa. To go, that's a callback.
I love it.
That's a callback.
I love it. As I took a sip of a good beer.
That's a callback. All right. Cut to Michelle FaceTiming Katarina.
Hello, Katarina.
Ahoy, Katarina. We hear Katarina's take on Michelle, saying she's got a lot of amazing qualities. She's adventurous. She's curious. She's intelligent. However, she's extremely emancipated.
She's like, I'm nervous about her being a feminist princess. It's a bit of an oxymoron for traditional European culture, and it's so true.
I mean, you obviously can answer this better than I can, but just looking at your friends and family, I think it's going more towards equality than the woman stays at home and the man goes to work.
Oh, I'll tell you this. No one stays at home in Czech.
Right.
Women don't stay at home because our maternity leave is for 3 years. You get paid. Your job has to wait for you. And when you're done with your maternity leave, there is a free childcare.
Yeah.
So women don't stay at home. We don't have stay-at-home moms.
Right. That's 3 years. Well, it's a whole other topic of conversation. But
I mean, I would love it. If it was normalized in the US, I would love to stay home with my kid for 3 years and then go back to the job I love, knowing they will be waiting for me.
it depends on the job. I think things move so quickly now in so many fields
Well,
that
you would need to keep up.
Right, you'd be so far behind.
Like, for example, fun fact, my mom was only home with me for 2 years
Mm-hmm.
because a great job opened up. Like, she was commuting before.
Yeah.
She was a teacher at the time. And a job opened up at the school my grandma was a teacher in. So they told my mom, you need to take it now or it will not be available.
Yeah.
So I was being babysat by grandmas until I was eligible to go to preschool.
Yeah. Okay. So Michelle and Katerina are talking. Here's where I completely agree with Michelle when she says, I don't want someone to complete me. I'm a complete person myself.
Yes.
I agree with that. I think you can find someone to compliment you.
I think you need someone who compliments you.
You can definitely find someone who compliments you. But it's not this, I wasn't whole until I found you. Then you got to do some work on yourself.
I think it's like women who cannot stop watching rom-coms and they get these ideas how they're not complete. But ladies, you are complete. You don't need guys.
Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not complete, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you're not complete. We're all works in progress. But we need to get to a point where we do feel complete and satisfied individually.
Complete meaning you can do things that men can do too.
Of
and
course.
the other way around. Like men can cook, men can clean.
Would you say your mom is complete then?
No, my mom is a lost soul without my dad. But my mom is special. Like, have you met my mom?
Yeah.
Guys, my mom don't put gas in her car on her own. My dad does that.
Yeah.
Whole different story. Very, very lovely lady.
So then Katerina tells Michelle, all right, well, You ready to surrender to a man? Surrender?
That was a hardcore word.
That's a heavy word.
And again, I'm gonna blame it on Katarina's lack of the English language experience.
Okay.
Because that's a harsh word that I wouldn't like. I would be like, surrender, like, no.
Yeah, what am I surrendering?
No. I think she just picked a bad word. What she was saying is like, are you ready to be with a man, to connect with a man, to be with someone and love them and be, what's the proper word here? Not to be enough for them, but to be
a partner, to be an equal.
Yes.
Well, here, and again, I think Katarina is falling victim to what we're falling victim to, and you don't have to do this. This is all on us for not understanding. But explain when you say I'm a staunch feminist. Explain what that means, because in Katarina's mind, she might be going, listen, are you ready to play ball and be an equal and allow a guy to do things? Because in Czech, they're going to want to be able to do things for you, right? So like surrender maybe your strict and staunch feelings and opinions and be an equal. I think maybe that's what she meant.
Maybe. I really think the word surrender, I don't think Katarina meant to say it. I think that was a poor choice.
I think we're going to learn a lot on her first date, potentially.
I'm excited.
When they sit down and they talk and the guy says something or she says something, we're going to have it now in context and we're going to see what she means.
Yes, I'm excited.
All right.
Mark.
It's time for Mark to put away the tea and pick up something a little stronger.
Oh, yeah. So he's meeting Nina. They're talking about his past date. And the girl really liked Mark. But
Sakina.
for him, Sakina, thank you. But for him, she was a little too young. So Nina's like, okay, I get it. Well, I have a new girl for you. She's 1 year older than Sakina, but she owns a business. So maturity level is going higher.
I like Nina, but now she's turning into Juan. It's like, do you not listen?
He said, like, listen, age is just a number. I agree. But there is a difference if you're 44 and if you're 24, even 25. Like, she needs to find him someone in their mid-30s who want to settle down, want to move to the US, not because it's the US, but because of Mark.
Yeah.
She's not approaching this well.
The hesitation, though, ended as soon as Nina showed Mark a photo of Huda.
Which, okay, I don't want to be judgmental, but I don't think Huda looks like her photo.
I was going to save that until we met Huda, but we can talk about it now. Either she really knows how to hit her poses
I think she does.
And filter her photos, or that was a different person.
No, I think it was her, but I think she knows how to pose. And listen, social media are full of videos how to pose for photos, which I've been trying, but it's not working for me.
As beautiful as Teresa is, she really struggles with hitting her poses.
I really tried to pose like really cool for my Austin sign photo, and it's really not good.
I think you're trying too hard is the issue.
There was this
or maybe you're not trying hard enough.
The one photo in Sedona I took, that was really nice.
And we thought you had found the magic formula.
You know what it is? Like, I don't like the attention of like when all the girls that pose in front of something. So for me, it's just kind of like, let's get it over with. Yeah. But then I have shitty photos.
What it is, and I really think this is it, you don't smile.
I don't.
You're a cold European.
Yes.
Just mean mugging the camera.
Yes.
And that sets the entire vibe of the photo. So while everything might look good, your hair's looking good, your clothes, everything, if you just have like a flat stare, the photo doesn't look good.
But you don't smile either.
I've totally revamped my photography.
Okay, guys, we got engaged, right? And it was beautiful. And then we had some fun on the phone. And then
I don't know what that means.
We banged.
Okay, I don't know where this is going, but okay.
Well, but then we showered and we did all that. And we was like, let's take an engagement photo, right? Several hours later. And we both don't smile. And one of your family friends, Ari, said, you guys don't smile in your engagement photo. I'm like, what are you talking about? We look amazing.
Yeah.
But she's right. we don't smile.
Okay.
And I feel like ever since they said it, you started hitting your smile.
No, it's ever since I fixed my chipped tooth.
That's true.
I had a chipped tooth for the longest time, and I never.
I told you about it. It
know.
wasn't bad. You couldn't really see it.
You know,
but
you couldn't see it, but I could feel it. And
Yeah.
so then I never wanted to go full smile because I was like, well, I got a chipped tooth. No, you could never see it in a photo because it wasn't like completely chipped. It was just like the front was
Yeah.
like a little chipped. Hockey, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a real man. You hear that, Michelle? But then
it's hard to hit I'm trying to smile a little bit too. I don't like showing my teeth when I smile, and not because I don't have nice teeth. Oh, I'm gonna flex, I do. But I just feel my face looks awkward. It looks uneven, and one of my eyes gets smaller than the
Sure,
other. I'm
sure.
serious, and so that's why I don't do it.
well, the other
and-
game changer is sunglasses. If you can
Sunnies?
wear sunnies
Yeah.
in a photo, you will. If my success rate taking photos without sunglasses is 40% good, 60% not good, with sunglasses on, my success rate is like 92%.
Look at that.
I think it's the same for anyone, though. I think if
Well,
you put
but
sunglasses on, there's very little that can go wrong.
I'm like flexing a lot, but I have nice eyes. I have green eyes.
We took one selfie in Austin, and we were wearing sunnies. So, like, you think, all right, problem solved. Going through them, there's one where, like, Teresa's, like, tongue is just, like, hanging out like a dog on a hot day. I'm like, how is that even possible? You know we're taking a photo. Why is your tongue out?
Because my lips were dry. I was licking my lips. I told you.
It's unbelievable.
All right.
Okay, cut to Mark getting ready for his date with Huda. So, okay, I think I
I'm
skipped
like
this.
looking at my notes, and my iPad connected Huda to Honda on every single line.
Hoedown?
Honda.
Oh, Honda? Okay. So I skipped over the part where Nina said, you're going to go out with Huda. She expects to be wined and dined, so dress to impress because you're going to meet the family.
Oh, Nina.
I would not consider whatever this was dressing to impress. He looked like the manager at a McDonald's. He looked like the franchise owner. He looked like he had a couple
It
McDonald's
looks like
in
the
his
best
portfolio.
man at the wedding because, like the wedding. Usually,
No.
weddings, listen, if you're part of a wedding party, you usually look really shitty.
Because the bride and groom don't want you to outshine them.
Especially the groom. For some reason, the men always wear these unfitted suits and horrible jackets.
Because you're renting them or whatever.
But you didn't, did you?
For which one?
You were a best man at a wedding last
No,
year.
because it was just a black suit, so we all ordered what we wanted.
Yeah, so that's why it fitted you,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
if they have these custom maroon, whatever color, and it doesn't fit people, that's what he looked like.
He was also giving, do you have a minute to talk about Jesus vibes a little bit in that outfit.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good look.
Yeah, it was not. So here's the trick. He has to pick her up at her family home.
Yes. And the whole family
Traditions.
is home.
Yeah.
He gets to the house. Othman, Huda's oldest brother, is there to answer the door. And then we meet another brother, Ali,
Mm-hmm.
and then mom. And if that wasn't enough, this house was overstimulated. Like,
There's so much pattern.
I wrote down so many patterns. So overstimulating, like kind of like beautiful in like, oh, if it was like an accent wall, but if the entire home was like this,
Well, I think for the Moroccan culture, that was a very fancy home.
I think it was. I mean, we've seen Morocco a few times
Yeah.
in our 90-day history. It was beautiful. It was like, I'm sure that was very expensive to
yeah.
do,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was a lot. It was like a museum installation. You walk
Especially
in.
for someone who wears black all the time, I'm like, holy shit.
Who? Oh, you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, they're all just sitting there. And Mark's like, how long until Huda's ready? And her brother's like, 30 minutes.
And Marcus
Huda is
like,
coming in a car. Huh? She's not here? And
oh, she is.
The brother's like, she's upstairs. I couldn't tell if it was a language barrier or if they were trying to haze Mark a little. Like,
I think it was a language barrier.
So then the brothers tell the camera, we find Mark's outfit classy. It fits him like a glove. Well, that's not true.
I mean, it wasn't as baggy as most wedding outfits.
Okay. His outfit is classic. Moroccan men dress casual on the first date.
Yeah.
So what is that, Nina?
Listen, he should have just put pants on and maybe a button down or a shirt.
Yeah. This
thought. Yeah.
weird suit with poor color
But
choices.
she told him that. I felt bad because Nina told him.
Well, did he send her a selfie and say, hey, this is what I'm rocking? And she, whoa, that is not what I meant.
I don't know.
Dress to impress is up to the interpreter, is up to whoever is dressing to impress.
Unfortunately. So then Mark is trying to have a conversation. He's like, I'm from Chicago. Michael Jordan, McDonald's. I don't want to flex, but I have a tiny share of McDonald's.
I literally,
like, Mark.
He showed up in that outfit, and I literally took the note. He looks like
McDonald's manager.
He looks like the manager at a McDonald's. And then he said that, and I was like, what? He is. He's got a, I don't know what that means. Does he have stock? Does he have McDonald's
he has
stock?
a stock. Yeah, for sure.
So that is
Why don't we have a stock?
We could have McDonald's. I don't think I would invest, although it's probably a good investment. I wonder what McDonald's.
We should tell our investment guy.
That we want to own McDonald's?
Yeah.
I don't think so. $298 a share.
Is that good?
It's expensive.
Oh.
It's up. Oh, it's really up.
Oh, maybe we
It's a
should.
pretty good investment. We should have got in October of 2022.
We'll talk to our peeps.
We'll talk to our guys. I'd say only invest in things that you would involve yourself in. We don't eat at McDonald's.
No, but I mean, they have good French fries.
Yeah, you got that right. So,
All right.
Okay, finally, Huda comes down.
And this is where I was like, all right, Huda, you know how to take a pic.
And let me clarify. I don't know how you feel. She was pretty. She was pretty, but she was not the same woman in that photo.
No, she is pretty, but she has a little attitude already because she feels like he's older. And then the younger brother is like, how old are you? And Mark is like,
44.
44. And Allie's like, you old.
44? You're old.
And
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this a language barrier, or are they just like serving up sass over here?
But then Mark is like, well, are we ready to go? So they take off. And Huda tells the cameras like, oh, he's 44. I mean, I'm in my 20s. I don't think I want to date someone who's 20 years older. So I don't know. I didn't ask. So what are you doing, Nina? I'm sure she specified that she doesn't want to date someone who's 20 years older.
Yeah, no matter how many McDonald's you own. Mark.
Exactly. I don't think this date is going to go well.
No, I don't think so either. And I hope Nina listens and finds someone more age appropriate
I
next
think
time.
Mark picked up on the fact that she looks different from her photos.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
found her attractive. She's like, oh, she's beautiful. Maybe she's the one. But you could tell.
He was blown away when he saw the photo. He was like,
Yeah.
what? Wow, she wants to go out with me? And then she walked in the room, and again, pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty. But Nina showed a modeling photo.
Yeah.
So, all right. One more?
Yes. All right, guys. Let's end this with our cutie patootie, Nathaly.
You have a thing for Nathaly.
I just want to wrap her in a blanket and put her in the back of my bicycle and like drive her around and get her an ice cream.
I'm glad you said bicycle.
Why?
I just want to throw on the pegs of my bicycle and take her to 7-Eleven
like-
for a Slurpee.
I want to put her in a car seat that I don't have.
I know, but if you said I want to wrap her in a blanket and put her in the back of my van, I would be like, well, that just took a turn.
She's just such a cute little person.
Yes.
Right? Like I can tell through the screen that she's so nice and pure, and I love it.
Yes. And unfortunately, she got matched with Juan.
I don't get it. She should have gone to Prague.
Yeah. See what
Or
Katarina's gotten.
Morocco. Even Nina's better than her. Than him.
Everyone's better than Juan.
Yeah.
Okay. So she struck out on her last date with seawater. So now she's hoping for something a little bit better.
So Juan found Alejandro.
He's older, calmer, less of a bad boy, and he travels, so they should hopefully have some things in common.
Yes.
So they meet, and it was very like interviewy at first. They were just like standing there. There was zero chemistry in the beginning. Where do you live? What do you do? It felt like a speed date
Yeah.
where they were going to decide after this 5 minutes whether they wanted to go on an actual date.
Yeah.
And they decided like, okay, yeah, this was good. Let's go on our date.
It was a little awkward. They were at this nature preserve,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was raining. So they were walking around, chatting, and Nathaly loves the way he looks. Like, that's her type. So Juan did something good.
Yeah. Her impression of him was, oh, you're giving teacher vibes.
Well, maybe he's teaching DJing at night in a club.
I mean, there are different types of DJs.
What is he?
There's a top 40 adult hit DJ on your local radio station.
Oh yeah,
And
love
then
that.
there's Avicii or Marshmello
That's
or
very
Skrillex.
true.
So like there's
Avicii, rest in peace.
R.I.P. So there's different types of DJs. Alejandro is one of those types. Not sure exactly which type, but he's got a vibe. And
I think so.
Nathaly's digging
He has
it.
like an environmentalist vibe. Like looks like he's there to observe the plants
Yeah.
and recommend like proper watering.
Yes. If a bug came into the home, he looks like he would get down on a knee, pick it up in his palm, and walk it to the front door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. They start talking about their dating past, and Alejandro's been single for 6.5 years,
Yes.
which makes me think he's not a contemporary adult DJ.
I think he's just banging girls at a
I think he's
club.
banging girls at the club.
Yeah.
Nathaly obviously been single for a couple of years. So they're on this date. She's feeling good. She feels comfortable. He does keep winking at her, though,
Did he?
which is definitely giving DJ vibes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, she goes, he keeps winking at me.
I missed that.
Yeah. And then they start talking religion. So Alejandro used to be an atheist. Mm-hmm. But then,
Shout out to my fellow atheists.
shout out to my agnostics. But then he started meditating.
Okay.
And that's when Nathaly perks up a little bit. It's like, oh, my mom's a Buddhist. And she wants me to meditate, but I haven't really got into it. But we're finding some common ground here.
Yeah, for Nathaly, talking about a spiritual journey is very intimate. And so she loves that she's being vulnerable. Woo!
There it goes.
Woo! And then it takes a weird turn.
Well, how do you feel about people asking you about your tattoos?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. You have a few. How do
No
you
one
feel?
asks. I mean, people ask about the tattoo we have in common because it's interesting and it's visible.
How do you feel when someone asks you about your tattoos?
I don't mind.
Okay. I don't either. I was just with someone in Austin tattooed neck to toes.
Nice.
And I've hung out with him a couple times, and I always ask him, oh, what's that? What's that? What was your first one? But I feel like if you're going to get a tattoo, you should be okay with people asking about it.
Yeah.
If it's out for everyone to see. You don't have to answer. I would never get mad at someone if I asked and they said, oh, it's personal. Never would
Yeah.
get mad. But I think it's okay to ask.
Yeah.
So Nathaly asks, and he starts explaining. Oh, well, this one I painted, and this one says the universe is always mental. And I believe in a lot of things. I believe in angels. I actually have contact with them.
Oh.
And then we learn about Alejandro's one rule. Don't talk about the spiritual stuff before sex. Because
Poor
if
Nathaly.
I do, I won't get laid.
What does it even mean?
It means he gets a little freaky deaky, and it's going to turn some people off if he starts
Ooh.
sharing his true
So
feelings.
he shares his passion about angels and the communication they have after he bangs the girl.
After he's gotten what he wants. So it means he's putting on a facade of front. He's not being truly honest and authentic
Poor confused Nathaly.
until he gets what he wants, and then he'll tell you all about his tattoos.
Well, Nathaly, I thought this is gonna be the end, but they get banged into the taxi and going back to her hotel. And Nathaly's like, well, I would love to see you again if you want to hang out again.
I know.
And it was coming from her.
Okay, I get it. He's attractive.
He's better than what's his face?
Seawater, for
Yeah.
sure. But he just admitted to you, oh, there's some shit you're not going to like.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to bang me after I tell you this. So let's bang first, and then I'll be truly
I
honest with
feel
you.
like at this point, Nathaly should just bang him and go back to America because Juan sucks.
Yeah,
so
Juan
you get
stinks.
something out of this trip.
Sure, an STD. It's a good souvenir.
Not,
No.
but
All right. That's the episode. Again, apologizing for the delay.
yes, guys, it was a journey to get to this
It's
point.
quite the journey, but we did it. And I think it was a fun episode.
Yeah.
It was a long episode, Teresa. We
But
made up for the
that's-
delay.
Exactly.
Worth the wait, we hope.
Exactly.
So have a great 4th of July weekend.
Happy 4th of July, guys.
Hope everyone keeps their fingers this
Oh, yeah.
weekend. Be safe out there.
Yeah. Don't be aware of the American Eagles. That's their day. They're going to come out, fly over.
I don't think that's any concern for the finger. I'm talking fireworks.
But yeah, and the Eagles.
Oh, be careful about shooting
Yeah.
fireworks into eagle
I
territory.
didn't know how to word it without saying shooting eagles, and I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, we don't want to shoot eagles.
No one wants to shoot eagles. They're majestic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Again, we're on Supercast now.
Yes!
marriedtoreality.supercast.com.
Woohoo.
We're on Patreon, patreon.com/marriedtoreality, Instagram at marriedtorealitypod. Make sure you're following wherever you're listening. It's so easy to do. Just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as hopefully Michelle's date in the Czech Republic.
Looking forward to it. And if you
Yes.
haven't left a review, please do. All right. Happy 4th of July. I've said it all.
Said it all?
I've said more than enough. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.